As Mike Tyson's daughter Maya drove to the market to pick up snacks for movie night with her dad, a racist cop spots her. Brimming with prejudice, the cop approaches Maya, calling her a troublemaker. As Maya attempts to brush him off and walk away, the cop delivers a vicious punch to her left cheek, sending her tumbling to the ground, unaware that he has just awoken the wrath of a legendary boxing champion. The disunity in the story takes a dramatic turn when Mike Tyson arrives at the scene, ready to unleash his protective fury. Subscribe and like this video to see how the story unfolds. It is a balmy morning in a serene suburb, with the sun's rays casting a warm embrace over the neighborhood. In this slice of tranquility, Mike Tyson, the formidable pugilist now enjoying a more leisurely existence, revels in the company of his close-knit family, with a particular fondness for his 19-year-old daughter Maya, whose presence enlivens the Tyson household for the duration of the summer recess. Within the bustling market, Maya embarks on a quest to procure the fresh produce essential for her family's well-being. Her grit, a testament to her lineage, forms a natural counterbalance to the tenderness she inherited from her father. Before venturing into the throngs of shoppers, Maya's kind-hearted nature prompts a swift embrace of her father, a warm gesture reflective of the family's affectionate bond. As the corners of Maya's lips curl into a cheerful smile, she declares, "I'll be back soon, Dad. How about I bring you some snacks for your movie night? Popcorn, soda, or maybe chips and dip?" This thoughtful offer, coupled with her sunny disposition, leaves a lasting impression on Mike's heart. Mike, his laughter dancing through the air, replies, "Surprise me, Maya, but don't take too long. I might get bored without you around." The banter shared between father and daughter is a testament to the spirited bond they share, one that has endured the trials and triumphs of their lives. As Maya secures a parking spot amidst the hubbub of the market, she sets off on her task of selecting the freshest fruits and vegetables for her family. In the midst of her shopping, her eyes fall upon a familiar figure, Officer Riley, whose reputation for abrasive conduct, marred by allegations of racial discrimination, precedes him. Officer Riley, his gaze hardened by scorn and malice, observes Maya from afar. As she engages in friendly conversation with the vendor, the camaraderie shared between Maya and the merchant only serves to further sour Riley's already grim expression. Without provocation, he advances towards Maya, his feet carrying him closer and closer with each passing second. Officer Riley's venomous snarl distorts his lips as he barks, "Got yourself a permit to be loitering around here?" His words, each one dripping with contempt, hang in the air. The disdain he feels towards Maya unmistakable in the tone of his voice. Maya, her composure unruffled by Officer Riley's offensive approach, responds, "Excuse me, I'm just shopping like everyone else." Her tone, tranquil and unwavering, speaks volumes about her resolute spirit, one that refuses to be cowed by intimidation. Officer Riley, his ire rising, jabs at Maya with his words, his voice simmering with indignation. "Don't get smart with me," he seethes, his gaze burning into Maya. "People like you always think you're above the rules. You think you can just waltz in here and do whatever you want." Maya, her jaw clenched, meets his gaze head-on, refusing to be bullied. Caught in an uncomfortable situation, Maya, ever the diplomat, aims to diffuse the tension by turning away, seeking to distance herself from Officer Riley's malice. However, Riley, his simmering anger now reaching a boiling point, steps into her path, his imposing frame barring her exit. Maya, her voice taut with apprehension, "Please let me pass. I've done nothing wrong." Riley, his body rigid with hostility, "Oh, you've done nothing wrong, then why are you trying to run away?" Officer Riley, his brows furrowed, issues a sharp demand, his voice dripping with authority, "Let me see some ID now." Maya, caught off guard by the unexpected turn of events, fumbles in her purse for her identification. Riley, his impatience mounting, "Hurry up, don't make me repeat myself." Maya, sensing the threat of injustice looming over her, rallies her inner fortitude, infusing her voice with steely conviction. "I'm not doing anything wrong, officer. You're harassing me. You're abusing your power. I've done nothing to warrant this treatment." Riley, undeterred, leans in closer, his face mere inches from Maya's. "Riley," his voice low and menacing, "you want to make this difficult? I can make this very difficult for you." As the flames of Riley's anger ignite into a raging inferno, the tension in the air becomes palpable. The mutterings of the surrounding shoppers rise in volume, their hushed whispers hinting at the growing unease that envelops the market. Maya, aware of the dire turn her situation has taken, reaches for her phone, determined to capture the injustices unfolding before her. Her movements, swift and assured, betray none of the fear that churns in the pit of her stomach. Maya, her voice clear and unwavering. "I'm recording this." Riley's face contorts into a snarl, his eyes gleaming with fury. "Put that phone down," he hisses, his voice dripping with venom. "You don't want this to go any further." Maya, unfazed by his threats, holds her phone steady, her gaze steely and unflinching. Maya, resolute in her defiance, maintains her steadfast hold on the phone, a symbol of her determination not to back down. In response, Riley, his patience fraying, lunges towards Maya, his hand darting out to seize the device. With a single, brutal motion, he snatches the phone from her grasp and sends it crashing to the ground, the shattering of its screen echoing through the air. The shock of the moment sends a jolt of adrenaline coursing through Maya's veins, her voice rising in protest. "You can't do that. You're a police officer. You're supposed to protect people, not assault them." Riley, his eyes narrowing. "I told you to put that phone down. You didn't listen." Maya, her voice defiant. "And now you're going to pay for what you've done." In a horrifying display of uncontrolled rage, Riley strikes Maya with a vicious blow to the side of her face, sending her reeling backward. The force of the punch knocks her off her feet, her body crumpling to the ground with a sickening thud. The sound of Maya's fall seems to freeze time, the horrified gasps of onlookers reverberating through the market. Maya, dazed and wounded, clutching her face. "Please, someone help me!" Riley, his voice a low growl. "No one's going to help you." The brutality of Riley's attack snaps the witnesses out of their stunned silence, their anger at the injustice stirring them to action. A bystander, fueled by righteous indignation, steps forward to intervene, his voice rising above the din of the crowd. Bystander, his voice indignant. "Hey, you can't do that. She's just a kid. Leave her alone." Riley, spinning around, his anger burning. "Stay out of this or you'll be next." The shock of the assault still reverberates through Maya's body, her mind struggling to process the reality of what has just transpired. With trembling hands, she holds her cheek, the tenderness and swelling evidence of the violence unleashed upon her. Her eyes, brimming with tears, lock onto Riley's enraged form, the cold truth of the situation slowly dawning upon her. "Maya," her voice a whisper, "why are you doing this?" Riley's words, as cold and cruel as his fists, slice through the air, his contempt for Maya palpable in his tone. Riley, his gaze like a piercing blade. "Maybe this will teach you some respect. Next time you think about challenging a police officer, you'll think twice." "Maya," her voice trembling with rage. "Respect? You assaulted me. You're the one who deserves no respect." Meanwhile, in the Tyson household, Mike savors the tranquility of a quiet day at home. Suddenly, his phone resting on the coffee table chirps to life, a single notification interrupting the peaceful stillness. Mike, glancing at his phone, curious. Who could that be? As he picks up his phone, the sound of an agitated, panting voice spills through the receiver. The witness's words, urgent and grave, cut through Mike like a knife. His heart lurches, panic seizing him in its icy grip. "Witness," his voice strained with alarm. "Mr. Tyson, listen to me. Your daughter has been assaulted by a police officer at the market. You need to get here right now." Mike, his voice taut with fear. "What? Who's the officer? Is Maya okay?" Witness, his words a blur of apprehension. Officer Riley, sir." In an instant, the serene facade of Mike Tyson shatters, the primal fury that once fueled his boxing career roaring back to life. Without hesitation, he snatches his keys from the table, his fingers gripping the metal so tightly that his knuckles whiten. "Mike," his voice a low growl. Riley, the name of his daughter's assailant, echoes in his mind, igniting a firestorm of rage that propels him out the door, his movements as fluid and predatory as a panther on the hunt. The scene that greets Mike as he speeds into the market is one of chaos and concern. Maya, his beloved daughter, sits on the curb, her face marred by a bruise that pulses with the pain of Riley's assault. Tears glisten on her cheeks, a stark contrast to the fierce resilience she had exhibited only moments ago. The crowd that surrounds her is a mixture of shock, anger, and sympathy. Some offer comforting words, while others rail against the injustice that has unfolded before them. Mike, his eyes blazing with fury. "Maya, are you okay?" Before Maya can respond, the sneering form of Officer Riley emerges from the sea of onlookers, his twisted smirk a taunt in the face of the rising tension. Mike, his voice trembling with barely restrained fury. "What the hell did you do to my daughter?" Officer Riley, emboldened by the volatile atmosphere, plays the role of the provocateur with relish, his words a malicious spark to Mike's already raging fire. Raggly, his mocking laughter curdling the air. "She needed to learn a lesson. And maybe you do too. You think you can intimidate me, Tyson? You're a washed-up has-been." The crowd, sensing the rapidly escalating situation, begins to disperse, clearing a path for the brewing confrontation. Fueled by misplaced confidence, Riley launches his attack with a wild haymaker. But Mike, his reaction honed by a lifetime in the ring, slips the punch effortlessly, his body moving with the fluid grace of a predator. Riley, his face contorted in frustration. "Damn it." The would-be assault peters out into a fruitless swing. Riley's futile attempt at intimidation dashed by Mike's poise and agility. Mike's voice, chillingly devoid of emotion, delivers a promise of retribution that sends shivers down Riley's spine. Mike, his gaze like shards of ice. "Wrong move, Riley." A hush falls over the square, the tension palpable as Mike, the former heavyweight champion, towers over the cowering officer. "Mike," his voice dripping with menace, "you're going to pay for what you've done." In a single devastating motion, Mike's fist lashes out, the force of his blow amplified by years of training and a father's righteous fury. The impact sends Riley stumbling backward, the shock of the hit reverberating through the crowd. The spectators, sensing the tide of justice about to crest, erupt into wild cheers, their voices rising in a chorus of support for the fallen champion's retribution. Some, drawn to the spectacle, seize their phones, capturing the moment on camera, immortalizing the sight of Mike Tyson, risen from his self-imposed retirement, defending his daughter. Riley, a smoldering mix of fury and humiliation churning within him, lashes out with his baton, his eyes brimming with desperation. But Mike, moving with a speed that belies his age, blocks the blow with the finesse of a master. The baton's metallic clash against Mike's forearm rings out like a challenge, spurring Mike into action. With a flurry of movements, he unleashes a volley of expertly placed jabs that strike Riley's chest, his arms, his jaw, Riley gasping for air. "Enough, Mike!" His eyes ablaze with a steely resolve, stands his ground, his voice a grim promise of punishment. "Mike!" His voice deep, his words a blade. "You think you can hurt my family and get away with it? Not today." The words, spoken with the weight of a reckoning, hang in the air as Mike draws himself to his full height, his shoulders squared, the lines of his body speaking to the lethal strength within. Mike, his fists clenched, ready to strike. "It's time for you to answer for your actions." The inevitable outcome becomes a brutal symphony of bone-crunching blows, Mike's fists striking like a hammer against an anvil. Riley, outmatched in both strength and skill, staggers and falls, the sheer force of Mike's fury unrelenting in its devastation. Soon the battle is over. Riley lies crumpled on the ground, a bruised and broken figure, his defeat a testament to Mike's overwhelming power. Mike, panting, his chest heaving, "You picked the wrong person to mess with, Riley." In the aftermath of the confrontation, the cries of approaching sirens slice through the air, heralding the arrival of reinforcements. 2 squad cars screech to a halt, their tires sending up a cloud of dust. The officers, their expressions grave and assessing, survey the scene. The crowd, still gathered around Maya and Mike, point to their phones, eagerly showing the recorded evidence of Riley's assault. Officer number 2, stepping forward with a steely resolve, locks eyes with Riley, whose prone form trembles in the dirt. "Officer number 2, his voice uncompromising, "Riley, you're under arrest for assault and misconduct. You're coming with us." Riley, protesting weakly, "He attacked me," the lead officer shoots Riley a withering glare, his skepticism plain to see. "Lead officer," his voice dismissive. "We have video evidence that says otherwise." Riley's protests fall upon deaf ears, his feigned ignorance crumbling beneath the weight of the irrefutable proof. The officers bind his wrists with cold steel cuffs, the clink of metal against metal resonating with a finality that Riley cannot deny. As he's led away by the officers, his pleas devolve into petulant curses, his rage boiling beneath the surface. The sight of his disheveled form escorted from the scene in disgrace is met with the stoic silence of the crowd, their stony expressions a silent condemnation. Turning away from the departing Riley, Mike's eyes find their way to Maya, his expression softening at the sight of his daughter. He pulls her into his arms, enveloping her in a protective embrace, the strength of their connection palpable to those who bear witness. Maya, overcome by a tumult of emotions, buries her face into her father's chest, her body racked with sobs, her gratitude, her love, her relief, all of it pouring from her in a torrent of tears. "Maya," her voice choked with emotion, "thank you, Dad." Mike, his words of vow, speaks into the silence that has descended upon the market square. Mike, his voice unwavering, "No one messes with my family, ever." As he speaks, the declaration is met with a murmur of assent from the onlookers, his status as a community hero reaffirmed in the face of injustice. In the aftermath of the altercation, the crowd's resounding applause reverberates through the square. The sound, an affirmation of Mike's courage and the community's solidarity, is like a wave of support, buoying Mike and Maya as they rise from the ground. Crowd cheering, clapping, and shouting, "Tyson, Tyson, Tyson!" Maya, her cheeks damp with tears, "You're a hero, Dad." Within hours, the footage of the incident spreads like wildfire, the viral nature of social media catapulting Mike and Maya's story to the forefront of public discourse. The damning evidence of Riley's brutality is met with swift and decisive action, his fate sealed by the unforgiving court of public opinion. Riley, stripped of his badge and reduced to a pariah, finds himself on the receiving end of a criminal investigation. As he's led away in handcuffs, the gleeful jeers of those he once terrorized follow him like a bitter reminder of his fall from grace. The scene fades out of the marketplace, the tumult of the day's event slowly giving way to a tranquil evening. At home, the Tyson residence emanates warmth and comfort, the familiar surroundings a sanctuary for Mike and Maya in the wake of the ordeal. They sit side by side on the couch, a movie playing on the television. Maya, still shaken by the day's events, leans into her father's embrace, finding solace in his strength and protection. With a hint of levity returning to her tone, Maya breaks the silence, her smile curling mischievously as she playfully nudges her father in the ribs. Maya, her voice teasing, "Hey, so remember those snacks for movie night? I'm starting to think you were just looking for an excuse to avoid spending time with me." Mike, returning her smile, his arm draped around her shoulders. "Oh, really? Sounds like someone's fishing for a special treat. What do you think, Maya? Popcorn?" The scene in its quiet simplicity is a testament to the enduring love and resilience of a family. As the camera pulls back, it captures the warmth of the flickering television, the cozy furnishings, and the comfort of the embrace shared between Mike and Maya. The audience, privy to the events of the day, bears witness to a moment of peace, a respite from the turmoil of the world outside, and in this moment they are given a glimpse into the essence of what truly matters: the strength of the human spirit, the power of love, and the unbreakable bonds of family.